There's actually, yeah, I'm the one making the sounds. I know that now, jackass. So we actually will not be emceeing cosplay burlesque tonight, so I'll hopefully be able to bring Thrak out during the masquerade and stuff. I wanted to strip down to what? I'll make something up. Okay. You can draw on some nipples. We don't need to know that. But yeah, this is pretty much going to be my PG-13 all ages show tonight. You're inside me right now, Thrak! So we're basically going to be appropriate, like up to your elbow. Jesus Lord. Like you're playing dramatical murder with me right now. You're the pervert now. I bet you got the lion ending. Now you're the perverts. We're made of friends now. Yes, I know, Thrak. I'm going to put you away for night out. Okay, bye. So long story short, yeah, that's going to be, that's the big goal is, my conversion into Jeff Dunham. No, actually, for nerds. Not help you could ever offer me unless you have a PhD and a prescription for Novocaine. Ponies. Notice before the cheer, one person went, oh no. Enough of this on Tumblr. It's not that, like, my friends that got into My Little Ponies, like, got into it and were encouraging that other people got into it. It was like they were ready to convert. I was getting calls at like 3 in the morning from grown-ass men who just took the show a bit too seriously. I was getting phone calls from people, have you accepted Princess Celestia as your personal Lord and Savior? Dad, why are you calling me? Stop. God, Lord. But the thing is, like, I finally got to sit in on a full-on pony panel. I went out to Anime Expo in California. I decided to actually try it so I could put that on my resume. Shows went by well, thank you for asking. Not that you would, you go to hell for that, right side. So I actually sat in at a sound effects and music panel for My Little Pony, and the guy was just ready, starting up and just playing the clips just to show off what the sound effects were, just to show how complicated and thoughtful even the sound design itself of that show was. The moment a clip would start off, they weren't even listening. The whole audience was just ready to start singing and chanting together, like, Betsy, Betsy, I'm a dying virgin and apparently so are you. And there was so much positivity in that room, so much just love and warmth. Like, I haven't felt that way since church, and like, I don't know whether it was like the fact that I've lived in New York the last 6 years of my life, or the fact that I was like just a bitter, cynical white male. I felt the need to run. Like, it was too nice. It was too sweet. I felt like I found my virginity again. Like, it was suddenly just Dustin Hoffman at the end of The Graduate. Oh God, not you again. I'm a great deal alike. We'll be friends again forever. That was not the point. I outgrew you. Stop following me. Just pacing is my normal thing, getting through the ideas, through the thoughts. But at some point, I don't know if you can tell, but I felt like my whole face becoming a hymen. And it's not even anything negative about the bronies themselves. Last year, they had something like 20 registered pony conventions in America alone. 20 weekends of 30-year-old men gathering together and saying, there's going to be a great episode of Bob's Burgers written about us in like 9 months. When the first BronyCon ever happened, there were 2 articles that got released. One was from a journalist in Canada. One was from a journalist in America. And somewhere between both their opinions was really the heart of the brony phenomenon, the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic phenomenon. The Canadian journalist focused on how weird it was that a cartoon was teaching Americans to be calm and talk about friendship and empathy and building a better society. My God, a cartoon has made Americans polite and thoughtful. The American journalist wrote, "Thanks!" Somewhere between those two is the compromise of My Little Pony. Now, the things with the ponies is that, yeah, it's really good. It's a decent enough source material. It's pretty newer stuff, and it's all about like family and love and singing and being positive no matter what's thrown at you, even when people would think you're on medication for something. So they're clearly the Mormons of the convention circuit. Following that, Homestucks are the Scientologists. from a weird sci-fi setting. Their owner just kind of extorts money out of them. And even when they try to talk to you about it, you go, and did you escape from the padded room yesterday? You've been on the run for weeks. Does your parents know about this? Neither do we. But yeah, that's a long way of saying hello, greetings, and beatings. My name's Uncle Yo. I'm a geek-specific stand-up comedian, which means my whole fantasy football team looks like the cast of Lord of the Rings. No one can throw a Hail Mary pass, but they can all toss a magic missile, baby. Like the hardest, weirdest thing I've ever had to put on a business card is geek comedian, because both of those are like, okay, because comedian is the only job where people demand instant proof and instant gratification of it. Like they always say, you're a comedian, tell me a joke. You're a comedian, where do you perform? Oh, like I went to jury duty 2 weekends ago in Queens. They asked what you do for a living. I can't lie to the judge. I'm a comedian. Oh, where do you perform? I had to explain Otakon to a courtroom full of lawyers. Lawyers, 2 criminal defendants. Like one of the criminal defendants had a Gurren Lagann tattoo on the side of his head. I was like, we're friends now. Let me show you the Ponyo review that I did with a nostalgia credit. There you go, buddy. I had to explain that. Because this is the worst part. Like, no one ever calls you or asks for proof when you tell them that you're a gynecologist. How you doing? Let me know when you're ready to call my bluff. We will both be terribly unsurprised. You don't know what you're doing. Never have! Fun times. A lot of the horror and the arguments that's coming up recently. Oh no! Even before I go into that, more news besides dungeon crawlers. The fiance had the baby. So good points. Just have to make sure that that my girlfriend doesn't find out. Yeah, don't clap. It's not mine. But we're gonna keep it. We're keeping the baby because we've got all this extra room in our freezer and. I'm planning ahead for the 4th of July, what can I tell you? That's where I'm gonna go every time I open my mouth. Don't trust me. Tumblr. What the butt hell? Tumblr. There's no real interesting way to translate it and explain it to anyone older than, like, 14. Essentially, I mean, if you really want to understand the emotional effect that people put into Tumblr and like how they take one fact and just stretch it, you give them an inch, they will ship it a mile. I've seen everything shipped except apples and oranges. Because I wrote that fanfic. Yeah, I went from apples and oranges to apples on oranges until we just blended that together. It was a smoothie of love. Convergence, all of it just coming together. To essentially, like, what is Tumblr, essentially? All right, imagine the David Tennant regeneration scene from Doctor Who. All right, imagine you know it, but no context. You have never seen Doctor Who before, and you suddenly turn on the TV, and you are in the TARDIS, this giant spaceship that can go anywhere in time, anywhere in space, unlimited adventures. You don't even know what's happening, but there's a really tall, kind of handsome, like, really scrawny dude in a suit who just looks teary-eyed into the camera and says, I don't want to go, and then he just explodes in yellow sparkles and goo. Just like a super soaker from the 80s that defected, just spraying this weird glowing spooch. He sets the room on fire for some reason. That is Tumblr. Imagine that yellow splooge blasting out of the crotch of a 13-year-old girl who just watched Supernatural. That's it. That's it. Anytime you're just weirded out by it, anytime someone does like Avengers versus Sailor Moon, or Sailor Moon versus Homestuck, or Homestuck versus, it's just, oh my god! I just found my clitoris, oh my god! It's me! Now imagine the entire cast of BBC runs in and just finger bangs him. That sums it up. Alright, I actually gotta stop, alright, hang on, let me, let's switch gears, shut up. I think the only thing that Tony Stark, Iron Man, is actually making money now, because if you read Marvel Comics, like every 2 weeks something else invades New York and levels it to the ground. The only way he's making money is by shell companies that are just selling like mutant and Hulk insurance. That's where I think his money's coming from. Shoot, losing them. So, right before I got on, I don't know if anyone has checked Twitter recently, but they've canceled Sherlock Season 4. Like the whole, that is Tumblr right there! That is Tumblr! Bam! Every time, that's where I go. That was a long setup too, man. I gave Captain America the cold shoulder in order to see Thor 2 again. Thor 2 really is the best Star Wars movie we've gotten in years. It even has Queen Amidala and Natalie Portman on doing nothing. Good Star Wars movie, everybody. It's just hulking, man. It looks like StarCraft invading Warcraft for the first half. When Christopher Eccleston lowers, he's just like this really pale elf. You're like, go get some sunlight, dude, and you won't be such a bitch. Then it's fun with portals. Like, everybody wins in that movie. But the new X-Men movie. Okay, a lot of people think that X-Men Days of Future Past is a movie about Wolverine time traveling back to the 70s. It is not. It is a reverse harem anime where everyone's pining for Mystique. Here's the thing, like, Charles Xavier is the high school friend, the childhood friend. Magneto is like the gruff mentor. She's just trying to get Senpai to notice her. Wolverine's the yandere. It's not like I like you or anything. Baka Mystique. Quicksilver's like the young punky kid. He's running, chasing after her with toast in his mouth. That's a lot of it. But like, I didn't know when X-Men became Fruits Basket. Don't hug Beast, he'll turn furry. The Fruits Basket reference was for all of you allowed to legally drink. Both of you. You're at an Uncle Yo panel. Shut up. It was quite the shuffle, you know? I'm loving this, Ina, but there's no way my little mutant can be this cute. I'm gonna spoil the new Godzilla movie for you because if you think there's anything to spoil in a Godzilla movie, you're a damned idiot. All Godzilla movies are Hulk movies, but destroying cities even faster. Like, and they're the new Hulk franchise because every couple of years we try to make Godzilla again. But we can forget what we love about it. The giant angry green dude smashing stuff. We focus on the puny human drama. And considering like the people that we were focusing on in the new Godzilla movie, idiots. Your main guy is like a military bomb expert whose neck just looks like a leg with a head attached. So his whole journey is like Hurt Locker, The Incredible Journey Home. Cranston gets destroyed way too early in the movie. He's the only one with the acting. And then the rest of the movie is just Ken Watanabe looking sad and confused. Like, every scene, they end the scene, and then the camera lingers, and Watanabe is just kind of... Am I still being incepted? Leo? Godzilla is destroying San Francisco, and they're... Can someone validate my bargain? Oh. The whole movie. Like, people are upset that Godzilla was not in the Godzilla movie. Have you ever seen the 1950 Godzilla movie? Where is Godzilla in the original 1950 movie? The trailer! That's basically it! What could you possibly expect from that? So, we're clearly not loving the movie. We paid for it. And maybe like a half an hour into the movie, my girlfriend points out that, like, Godzilla, he's got some junk in the trunk, okay? This is, like, I know we were sad that we're now fat-shaming Godzilla, because apparently we've run out of, like, women and men to fat-shame, but, like, Godzilla is triangular. And there's a part where, like, he rears up to do the big roar, and she says, that looks exactly like our cat, Epi, who is huge, he's long-haired, black, he looks like the Gamork at the end of the Never-Ending Story. Like, when I come home in the middle of the night from working at the comedy club, and like the light just reflects off his eyes, and he's just sitting in the underwear closet, I feel like grabbing whatever's off the bookshelf, which is normally like Shota manga, thank you to my girlfriend, or like the volume 3 of Saga, like, come for me, Gamork, I betray you! I'm ready for you now, you son of a bitch. But it's not until like Godzilla rears up for the first roar, I realize that is our cat. He gets up. That is our cat. That is Epi right there. And the rest of the movie is so much better because it's just Cat and Uncle Yo's running commentary on Lizard Epi fighting the fruit bat from hell. Here's the plot to the whole movie. Godzilla wakes up, finds these giant cockroaches that no one can find on a satellite, because they're the size of cities. He chases them to San Francisco. The cockroaches have sex, and he tries to kill them for it. Godzilla's whole role in the movie is to cock-block cockroaches. His entire movie is like, oh, good job, lizard, yeah, but you bite that food bad. Oh, take that bad food bad. Who knew Godzilla hated breeders that badly? That he does it in San Francisco, too? Stop! You guys! The whole movie, Godzilla chases a bug, bites his head off, takes a nap, goes for a swim, and goes home. That is the movie from Godzilla's point of view. But you don't know because... Can I be in the sequel? Oh. Sad Watanabe. Come back, baby. I don't know how to approach this properly, so I won't. Nah. Okay. Twitch plays Pokemon, so I wasn't sure how to discuss this weird internet culty thing in a way that didn't end up with me getting a heart attack. I had this idea to take these old priest robes that I had from a production of a play that I did, and just have everyone rise, then turn left, then right, then left, then left, then right, then right, then right, then drop it, pick it up, drop it, pick it up, drop, pick it up, headbutt yourself, castrate yourself, feed yourself. It wasn't gonna work. But what Twitch Played Pokemon did was rewrite what we know of Pokemon. Here is a mythology, here is a game, here is a set-in-stone system that they perfected the first time and never needed to update. They never needed to do anything different with Pokemon. We have run through it 1,000 times. I want to be the very best. You could all finish it in your sleep, backwards in Latin. Through Morse code, through your armpit. You know Pokemon so well. They took Pokemon, the loneliest game in the world, because it is a game where you pick up imaginary friends. And they made it, rather than a sad, lonely, competitive game, they made it a cooperative story. Suddenly, 72,000 people wanted one character to win. Essentially, we were all playing Everyone is John for like 2.5 weeks straight. You are my friend. We're gonna play that RPG later on. So Twitch Plays Pokemon was all of us screaming through one character once because we all wanted to see it happen. We all wanted to see it win. That is freaky to me. That we were all viewing one thing, just hoping it was going to happen that way. Now, for a longer time, I didn't exactly sure what to do else with Pokemon in my stand-up, because what can you do that the internet already hasn't done, until I tried internet dating at one point. And I realized speed dating is like a Pokemon tournament. But you're playing a Pokemon tournament against people with their crippling emotional baggage. Because it's really the same thing. People just reach for their belts and you just brace yourself because you don't even know what's coming. You're terrified. One of you is most likely going to end up unconscious on the floor, bleeding, on fire, with your wallet stolen. And you just go into it again and again and again. And for some reason you're just happy with that, because there are just some people so happy to just bust out all the work that they've done on their imaginary friends on you. It's like they're proud of... Keep it professional, 30-year-old man telling Pokemon jokes in an audience. You're playing against people with crippling emotional baggage. Essentially, like, a Pokemon trainer reaches for their belt. It's the same thing. A pervert reaches for their belt. Oh God, here comes something. Here comes something legendary. It's like, that's a fairy type. I'm sorry. That's, you are for, oh yeah? Mega evolution! Oh God! There's gonna be fire! It's an ice type! How is that possible? You end up bleeding unconscious on the floor, and to a weird extent, it's like people are proud of the work that they put into their Pokemon. Like, people are almost proud of their emotional baggage, to a point where you get to college and you'll meet these people. It's not, my name's Steven, I happen to have attention deficit disorder, but I'd love to sit down and play some video games with you. It's, my name's ATT, I squirrel. And that must be Ash Ketchum. In my mind, Ash is the deranged, sociopathic, weird homeless guy who's been living in the woods by himself. He's never aged. He's always followed by two people trying to make sure that he is not breaking anything or destroying the social system. There's no way he can fit a Snorlax on his waist unless that ball were bigger on the inside. Ash is a Time Lord. Yeah. But essentially, Ash must be that crazy guy because he never puts Pikachu away. So there must have been like a hotel or a restaurant at some point. He just kind of walked in, sat down, stared at nothing. And there was the discussion of the hotel staff. Oh God, he's back. You talk to him. No, you send the newbie. Yo, you're the manager. You do something about it. I'll talk to him. Sir, I'm sorry, this is a 5-star hotel. It says on the door, Pokemon are not allowed. I'm gonna have to ask you to please put the electric rat away. And you're free to... You can see him too! Oh, he does not like to go in the ball. He says it's dark. Get him! The Pokeball technology is so terrifying. Do you understand what an entire terrorist organization could do? Like, clearly someone must have tried because the Pokemon is in suspended animation, but the weirdest part about the Pokemon world is that anything that randomly comes at you in the middle of the night, anything that comes at you ready to attack you, is going to stand there and wait until you throw the ball at it, alright? Mewtwo is conditioned to want to be your bitch. He could teleport away, he could blow your mind up, he could just send you to the next dimension or the Phantom Zone. He just stands there waiting to be captured, waiting for some 10-year-old child to tell him what to do in your life. That's a terrifying scenario. You are a little caterpillar and you're suddenly kidnapped by a deranged 10-year-old Japanese child, and the next thing you remember is being launched into a giant gladiatorial arena fighting a psychic ghost. And you hear the 10-year-old yell, "Go ahead, buddy. You'll win." How do you arrange to have an entire world under this weird conspiracy? What would you do to get 10-year-old children, the perfect age, to leave their home and fight these monsters, these legendary birds made of fire, made of skulls, these monsters from deep below with hyper beam that not even Kratos would fight in a boss fight, by the way. And 10-year-old kids are like, "I'm gonna wear that, he'll be my friend." You give them a shiny button. And if they've had enough of their friends die on them in the battlefield, give them 2 buttons. And this has worked for years. Oh, the Pokemon world, there must have been someone who captured a person with a Pokeball.